Ellis Beefeaster's Radio Air Check and Classic TV channel.
Good morning. 45 degrees and clear at 6 o'clock. A brisk morning in New York, sunny and in the 60s today. A nice weekend ahead. Gunplay at a social club. 2 dead, 5 wounded. Reaction to the gun club's bounty offer. The nursing home strike fails to materialize. The president gets set to unveil an inflation-fighting program. And the Port Authority reaffirms its stand on SST. In home team sports yesterday, the Cards beat the Mets out at Shea. The Yankees had the day off. I'm Frank Settipani, WNEW News. A wild gun battle at a Bronx social club last night left 2 men dead and 5 wounded. Police say the gunplay broke out in the club at 2323 Webster Avenue around 10:30. They say a man who had apparently been thrown out of the place for indecent exposure during a dance came back with his brother seeking revenge. That's when the shooting began, police say. The names of the shooting victims were not released. A New York area gun organization may be willing to pay $200 bounties to merchants who kill would-be hold-up men, but 2 of the 3 storekeepers singled out for rewards say they don't want the money. One called it blood money.
I'm Peggy Stockton. The National Rifle Association has denounced the position taken by the Federation of Greater New York Pistol and Rifle Clubs. The clubs are offering a reward to victims who shoot and kill their attackers. In a telephone call to Police Commissioner Michael Codd, Woodson Scott, president of NRA, says the association completely disagrees with the Federation and does not support or approve the reward idea and has never encouraged expressly or by implication the use of firearms for killing another person. Adding their voices to the NRA are the mayor and police commissioner, Michael Codd. This will only lead to more violence, Codd says, and the experience of the police department finds civilians lose half the gun battles they get into.
Checking editorial opinion in the WNEW area, the Daily News says the offer to pay bounties to citizens who kill would-be hold-up men takes the fruitcake. The News says New York has enough problems without a bunch of kooks inciting people to turn the streets into shooting galleries. Intervention on the part of New York State has averted a strike at 67 metropolitan area nursing homes. The walkout by non-professional employees would have been affecting 15,000 patients, and it had been scheduled to begin at 6 a.m. A spokesman for the nursing home says the state has agreed to study management's claim that low Medicaid rates make it impossible to meet union money demands. In some cases, reimbursement will be raised so the nursing homes can fulfill terms of the new contract with the union. 75,000 tons of cargo is sitting idle on docks in New York and New Jersey as 5,000 stevedores remain on strike for a second day. The walkout is tying up waterfronts from Maine to Texas. More news coming up in a minute. It's 6:03.
Just because Volvo is celebrating their 50th anniversary this year, they don't expect you to jump up and down. In fact, if your reaction is a yawn and a big deal, they wouldn't be surprised. And yet, a deal is exactly what's in it for you. Right now, your nearby Volvo dealer is celebrating Volvo's 50 years on the road by giving you the chance to get a terrific buy on a Volvo. It's the kind of chance that comes along maybe once every 50 years. At any participating Volvo dealer, you can choose from a select group of brand new Volvo sedans and station wagons, famous for their engineering, safety features, and comfort. But you won't have to pay the kind of price you'd normally expect to pay for that kind of Volvo quality. It all makes the car for people who think an even more intelligent investment now. So visit the Volvo dealer nearest you. See about a Volvo today. The smartest way for you to spend the 50th anniversary of Volvo is saving on one.
When it gets light, fire officials in South Jersey will start searching the ruins of the Garden State Racetrack clubhouse where 10,000 fans fled a fire that broke out yesterday afternoon. The fire destroyed the track and so far has claimed 1 life, a fire chief who was involved in the effort to bring the flames under control. There were unconfirmed reports some spectators might have been trapped in a stuck elevator. Taming the fires of inflation, that's the theme of today's White House news conference. It comes a day after the tax rebate was killed, the president saying the economic stimulus wasn't needed and could feed inflation.
President Carter's anti-inflation package is expected to be safe. He's not expected to propose any controls that would coerce people or frighten business. Indeed, the entire thrust of his proposal seemed directed at demonstrating what the government can do by example to hold down prices, rather than what the government will do to impose restraint on others. But lest anyone think it will be an entirely toothless package, Mr. Carter said yesterday,
with the anti-inflation package, there will be constraints on people. There will be special interests, some quite benevolent in nature, who will be disappointed.
The current inflation rate is between 5 and 6%. During the campaign, Mr. Carter indicated his goal is no more than 4%. Walter Rogers at the White House.
Reports that Mario Cuomo would enter the mayoral race with the blessing of Governor Kerry have sparked some heated exchanges in the ranks of New York Democrats. Among those sounding off is the current tenant of Gracie Mansion, Mayor Bean. He says it looks like the governor is interested in getting someone in here whom he can control. The Beam statement was the first open breach between him and the governor. Until now, their differences had been kept in the background. The Port Authority has adopted a resolution reaffirming its ban on SST landings at Kennedy Airport pending further study of noise data presented by the British and French. Sunday's motorcade by SST opponents is still very much on, though, which brings up the question of unity among the protesters. Those supporting Howard Beach Civic Leader Brian Levinson favor the demonstration. Others, including Carol Berman of Lawrence, Long Island, feel tying up the airport would be wrong.
We are going to be in court on the 28th. We are amicus curiae in that case. We are going to be meeting with Brock Adams next Tuesday. We're going to be doing all the things that we have been doing right along, and the things which I think have finally resulted in stopping this plane at Kennedy.
For Lawrence, Long Island demonstrators, she says, tying up the airport would be a mistake. A name in the news this morning, Phyllis George, the former Miss America, now a TV personality. She's married film producer Robert Evans. They're honeymooning in Acapulco. Sports next at 6:06.
When you fly Olympic Airways to Greece, please remember this.
You can snap your fingers, tap your feet to the crazy Greek bouzouki beat. You can snap your fingers, tap your feet. All we ask is keep your seat. Oh, Olympic Airways makes you smile, but please no dancing in the aisles. Oh, Olympic Airways makes you smile, but please no dancing in the aisles.
Olympic Airways takes more people nonstop from the U.S. to Greece than any other airline. And no wonder. Only Olympic has 747s year-round from New York, can fly you straight through to 15 sunny Greek Isles, and gives you over 200 fantastic vacations to pick from. Call your travel agent or Olympic for free brochures. Just one thing.
Oh, Olympic Airways makes you smile, but please no dancing in the aisles.
I'm John Kennelly, WNEW Sports. The Mets fell to a 3-3 mark yesterday when the Cardinals beat them 4-1 at Shea. The Cards jumped Jerry Koosman for 3 runs in the third inning. Young man Tony Scott drove in 2 of those 3 with a triple, and that was all she wrote for the Mets. Simple fact is they aren't hitting, not any of them, and don't blame just Kingman. In the other game in the National League, Willie McCovey and Bill Madlock slammed home runs. The Giants knocked off San Diego 8-4. In the American League, nothing doing for the Yankees. Toronto zapped Detroit 5-3. The Blue Jays are 5 out of 7 now. Milwaukee shut out the Orioles 5-zip. Oakland nosed out the Angels 8-7. Seattle topped the Twins 4-3, and Cleveland and Texas got rained on. NBA basketball, the Golden State Warriors hammered Detroit 138-108, which evens the series at a game each. Coming up tonight, Game 3 in the Stanley Cup quarterfinals for the Islanders and the Buffalo Sabres. They play this one and the next one in Buffalo. And, of course, if the Islanders can build further on that 2-0 lead they have in games, they might not even have to come back to Uniondale for Game 5. WNEW's David Feinberg spoke to Bill Torrey, the Islanders' general manager, about the playoffs, and the subject got around to the Islanders' reputation for grinding it out.
Well, people say that, but, we like to underplay that a little bit, but I think you'll notice that when we get our chances, we don't take a lot of shots in a lot of games, but we don't miss our chances. I think one of the reasons that we don't get enough credit in that area is because we have people like Gary Howlett and Clark Gillies and Nystrom. They're very exuberant. They're very physical players, so their physical hitting seems to draw more attention, which is understandable. But when it comes time to the key situations, I don't think you can get many more better finesse players than, say, Jude Drouin or Eddie Westfall, Billy Harris, Brian Trottier. They're finesse players. They can go both ways.
Tournament of Champions golf going into round 2 today. Tied after 1 round, Johnny Miller and former Masters champ Ray Floyd. They had 5 under par 67s yesterday. Lee Elder, a 68. Frank?
Thank you, John. Here's our weatherman, Torrey Jacobson.
Well, high pressure sitting to our north will assure us of another bright and sunny day in the tri-state area. High temperatures today between 60 and 65, still a bit above normal for this time of the year. Clear and chilly tonight, lows in the 40s, then mostly sunny and a bit milder tomorrow for Saturday. Highs reaching well into the 60s, partially sunny, warm 70s for Sunday, cooler at the shore. Our commuter cities, Boston, sunshine, the low 60s. Philadelphia and Washington, sunny as well, 65 to 70. While out at Chicago, skies will be mostly cloudy with highs in the upper 60s.
Clear skies, humidity 51, the wind north-northwest at 6, the temperature on 5th Avenue 45 degrees, that's 7 Celsius. Repeating the top story, a gun battle at a Bronx social club, 2 dead, 5 wounded. I'm Frank Settipani, WNEW News. And now back to Gene Clavin.
Frank Settipani. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was Frank Settipani. Gene Clavin. Good morning, folks. 10 minutes after 6. Good morning there, you. Another pleasant, beautiful day. I'll do what I can to knock that down for you so you can feel your morning depression as you should.